So, one thing I've noticed is that a lot of parenting advice could apply to our relationships, our marriages. And I think we've become so obsessed with being the best parent that we've forgotten the foundation of raising steady kids. And that's a steady marriage that's beneath the family. We need to look at the system surrounding the kid. And the biggest system and stability surrounding a child is a marriage. Stay with me for a minute because this is what I mean. I am not honest with my kids. I love my kids, but I am not honest most of the time because there is something that I'm trying to do within them, and my honesty doesn't do what I'm trying to do. Meaning, I want them to be independent, to be able to do things on their own, to not doubt themselves. So, if I want those things for my kid, when I approach a task with them, I'm going to hold that framework in mind. Because what I really want to say is it seriously take you this long to zip your coat? We're trying to get out the door and we really need to go. And this coat zipping process is just not going to work. That's the truth. That is how I am truly, truly feeling in the moment. And maybe be worded a little bit stronger depending on how late we are. But what I'm trying to do is cultivate something different within them. So my words get run through a filter. There's a filtering system that says, no, don't say what you're really thinking. Speak to what you're creating. I'm creating an independent kid. So I might say, hey, you're doing a great job zipping that up. I'm going to load the car while you're doing that because I got to keep things going, but like keep going and let me know if you need help. I'm going to be encouraging. I'm going to take care of my own needs. Like we do have to, keep it moving. And I'm going to be patient because I'm not looking at where they are. I'm looking where we're going. And what I've seen time and time again in my office is that people are speaking to their partners from their current perspective, their frustration, their annoyance, their bad mood, their emotion is being sent from them to their partner. And we really need to be careful about how we are presenting and speaking to our partner. Are we speaking to the moment and what's happening? Or are we speaking to what we are creating? So in your marriage, the number one question that you need to know at all times is what am I creating and cultivating for this relationship? I'm not raising my partner, but I do need to raise the bar on my expectation of the marriage and the life that we're creating together. And so when I speak, there are many times in my head, I'm coming in hot. Why are the dishes still in the sink? Why didn't you empty these? What's going on? Oh my gosh, I'm so sick of coming home to dishes. We want to let that voice come through us and pass. And then we have to remember, what am I creating? I'm creating a loving, supportive home. Hey, how was your day? What's up? Hug, kiss. How have you been? Will you have a minute? Can we tackle these dishes together? Or hey, are you going to do the dishes? I'll go in the backyard and watch the kids. Will you handle this? Like, we're not getting our needs met, but we're approaching it in service of what we're creating, not in our feelings in the moment. No one would like me very much if I were operating from who I am in each moment. Yet time and time I see in my office with couples, they are speaking to each other with that same self, the in the moment, impulsive, this is how I'm thinking and feeling. And we need to start cultivating more restraint in our relationships, just like we do in parenting, so that we can speak with intention to our partner. And so that we are giving them the best of us and not the worst of us. Because no one's knowingly said, I do to the worst version of their partner. Yet after many, many years, that's who starts showing up in our marriage. Something really changed for me when I started thinking about my marriage from not my perspective. And what I realized was my husband only gets one wife. And am I being a wife that I would want to have? If I were him, would I want to be married to me? That's the most powerful message we can ask ourselves in our relationship. This isn't a question for our partner. This is a question for ourselves. And if each partner is asking, Am I showing up as who I need to be in this relationship? We could start being better for each other. And I realized there's just little things that I could be doing that would make me the partner that I would want to have if I were a husband married to a wife. When my daughter was younger, before I'd wipe her little face, I would run the water so it was warm. Because I was like, it feels so good when you're in a spa and someone rubs your face with warm washcloth. I want to provide her with a warm washcloth. And it took me 30 extra seconds to provide this for her. And in that 30 seconds, that was this tenderness that I was bringing to her. Is there an extra little thing I can do? Something I like to do. I'm not perfect at it, but I like to warm the kids' towels up in the dryer before they get out of the tub on a cold day. Like, let me provide this little bit of tenderness. And I found that's another thing that we have missed from our relationships, that extra moment pause of tenderness. How can I make this the best it can be for you? And oftentimes, our relationships, if we're not holding that, we're defaulting to you get what you get. And we can do that, but over time, it's those moments that are going to determine your relationship. It's not when I sit with clients, there's not one big moment that has led to this place. It's a thousand tiny moments of the cold washcloth being wiped across the face and sending someone out the door. It's the coming home with a complaint, not a kiss. It's the leaving in a rush. It's the bedtimes on your phone. It's the million rituals that you have not created with each other to include tenderness, and it's those moments where we speak out of rashness and impulse and not intentionality and love that are going to be the sandpaper in your relationship that eventually wears a hole in the fabric of that relationship. So in your relationships, I want you to remember, what are you creating? And this is where I have a separate message for men and women in relationships. Men, if this is resonating with you and you've noticed this in your relationship, a pattern where things are feeling less tender, less cared for, or words are harsher and not landing with love, this message is for you. Men are the metronome of the family, they are keeping the beat. We need men who keep a steady beat. So if you're noticing in the family that this is feeling off, I encourage you to show up a little bit differently, to show up with more caring, to hold yourself and your partner to a more loving, intentional space, and really hold the framework of what you are creating together. Now, women, I have a message for you. Men are the metronomes of the relationship. Women provide the melody. So we want to make sure that our notes are hitting right, that the things we're saying, because we speak a lot more in relationships, so we have to be really intentional with our words. Men's energy speaks louder in relationships. I react, my nervous system reacts to the energy of the room, and many women are sensitive to energy. So men have to hold their energy very stiff. This is not a woo woo thing. It's truly feeling, we can feel your emotions. Women are able to pick up on emotions easily. So, men, we need you to hold your energetic space with what you're trying to create. If you're trying to create a loving, peaceful home, your homework is to hold a loving, peaceful energy. Women, we speak more and our words carry a frequency. And so we want to be careful with what we're saying because it's easy to say things that aren't contributing to the right energy. What I think about it is the marriage that I'm creating is a well that we both drink from. We both pour water into the well and then we have to drink from that well. So if I'm pouring poison into the well, I now have to ingest what I have poured into the well. I think of it like a Brita filter, throwback to the 90s. It's like a Brita filter. My pure, unfiltered thoughts contain lead. They're not going to help anyone. My job is to filter out the thoughts that are harmful and then pour a glass of water that has been filtered. It's still the water. It's still what I need to say. It's still me, but I've taken the impurities out so that I'm not pouring poisoned water into the well that we're going to. this is such an exciting concept for me to think about relationships in a way that we have not thought about them before, which is what each person's unique role is. We talk about men being the leaders of the home. That's kind of the old school model. Men are leaders of the home. But I see in the more new school model, women are leading the home. Women are in charge. They're making the decisions. What men need to do is take charge of their best area of leadership. Men's best area of leadership is the energy of the home. Men need to set the energetic pacing of the home. When I was first dating my husband, I'm from a family, we yell. Practically our love language, definitely our fighting language, yelling. And so when my sister and I would get heated, we would start yelling at each other. That's just how it happened. So when I met my husband, we've been dating for a few months, things are going good, we get into a disagreement, and I yell about something. And I will never forget this moment because it formed and changed the way I held myself in our relationship. He calmly said, I don't do yelling. So if you're going to yell, I'm going to leave because I don't do yelling. It was not mean, nasty, blaming. It was firm, clear, and grounded. And that firm, clear grounding shifted the way I was showing up in that moment. And it was over. He didn't, let's go back to when you yelled at, he has never brought it up. I don't even know if he remembers it. It was a line in the sand for me. Do I care more about yelling or more about being in this relationship in a healthy way? And I made that decision in the moment. I don't need to yell. It shifted my state. It shifted where I was. And then the words coming out of my mouth and the way I was speaking was able to change. So, men, you need to activate your energetic awareness in relationships and your energetic presence in relationships. Those are the two things men need to cultivate to navigate the relationship world we're in. I want you to be grounded and give a firm but loving space to hold the relationship so that when things get heated and when, as women, our nervous systems respond so quickly to incoming input, there's that place to just relax and ground. Co-regulation, we're finding we co-regulate each other. Men have a huge role to play in co-regulation. If you can stay calm under distress, you can allow your partner to calm, and then you can move forward in a much healthier way.